Thank you. Good morning, members, and welcome to today's meeting of the Stranraer Common Good Fund Subcommittee, Friday, 31st of March. Kerry, could you provide the sederant, please?
We have yourself present, and we have apologies, and obviously all members are remote, or yourself is remote, and we have apologies from Councillor Scobie and Councillor Justy.
Okay, thank you. So can you confirm our quorum number then, please?
The quorum number is 3 members.
Yeah, so we're short by 2, basically. So I'll move to just keep the meeting open for 10 minutes. If we can just sort of suspend it for 10 minutes and see if there's going to be any other members who turn up, and then we'll move on from there. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Thank you for that, everyone. I see we've been joined by Councillors Gusty and Councillors Hill, which I believe makes us quorum. So we'll move on to item 2. Any declarations of interest to make? No. I have my own declaration. I'll just declare that right now. I've got a family member on the board of the allotments group, so that's item 4. But I don't believe it's such that I'll have to leave the room or anything like that. Thank you. Item 3, minutes of previous meeting, 30th November 2022. Can we approve or note?
Chair, just before we go on, I think we've all maybe got a slight declaration to declare, and that is that the events group have contacted us all. I'm sure they've contacted us all, but I don't think any of us have made any pre-decisions on that or anything. Yeah,
so that's probably just one for noting, really, but I don't think that precludes any of us from leaving the room or not voting, so that's noted. Okay, can we approve or note the minutes from 30th November?
Aye.
It's just to note, Ben.
Okay, thank you. And item 4, King George V playing field, report by Director of Communities. So that is, yeah. Okay, so this report invites members to consider a request from the Stranraer Allotment Society, supported by Stranraer Development Trust, to work with Dumfries and Galloway Council as landowners to create allotments and community food, growing space in King George V playing fields. Kerry, have you got anything to add to the report or comments?
Robert was unable to attend, but there isn't really anything further to add that's not included in the report. I'll happily take any questions, though.
Thank you. So, do any members have any questions or comments? No. So, I mean, yeah, it's. I think we can all agree and want to support things like allotments and community food growing. So, you know, it's a great application and stuff. Just to clarify, Kerry, the bit about Agnew Park. So, is this essentially a sort of swap that we're talking about? So that land will become Fields of Trust?
Yes, Fields and Trust look for an equivalent amount of space that's, you know, if space is being freed up for kind of change of use. They do look for an equivalent amount of space, so that would basically protect Agnew Park from being anything other than park space.
Good stuff. That's great. Thank you. So there's no other questions. We'll just move straight ahead to the recommendations then. So recommendations 2.1, note that the King George V playing fields are inalienable common good land as detailed at paragraph 3.3 and also protected by Fields and Trust as detailed at paragraph 3.5. Agree to provide permission for Dumfries and Galloway Council officers as the authority with community partners SAS, that's the Allotment Society, and SDT, Stranraer Development Trust, to progress both an application to Fields and Trust as detailed at paragraph 3.6 and to the Sheriff as detailed at paragraph 3.4 to enable a land to be released from any burdens to enable it to be developed by the community for food growing. And 2.3, note the community assets proposal to allocate Agnew Park as an alternative green space for the purpose of protection for perpetuity as detailed at paragraph 3.10 and detailed at appendix 4. Happy to note and agree? Yep.
Happy to note.
Thank you. Right, moving on. Agenda item 5. This report invites members to consider an application for funding from Stranraer Events Group. So it's an application for financial assistance. Any questions before we proceed? No. Yeah, so I have a question, I think. So yeah, Harry, this is this is based on the previous criteria, is it, before we agreed the new criteria? It's a historical application?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, so it's recommended for nil award, basically, and you can read the criteria there. So basically,
Chair,
we'll move on to
I'm
the-
sorry, actually, Chair. I forgot, and this is something that I keep forgetting. I actually sponsored the this award financially. I believe that was that. I forgot about that. That was one of my reasons why I was actually going to be apologies today. So I'm probably not able to actually make a decision on this one. Sorry, I'm bringing that up now. I've been flustered today.
You're okay. Kerry, would that count as a conflict of interest?
Obviously, it's up to members themselves to define whether they are, if it is a conflict of interest, and if they believe that that there is enough conflict for them to not participate. If Andrew does believe that, then unfortunately you're not quoted to make a decision, and will not be able to take that decision today. It would have to be deferred to another meeting.
I was thinking that it would complicate things. Andrew, what's your stance?
Well, Chad, I think the fact that I've actually money has been passed and my business is supported and sponsored this event. I think it wouldn't be right of me to sit and make a decision on this. Just for although the amount that my financial interest with the events group's minimal, I think it still doesn't look good if I was to be on that decision-making body.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Hill, you're wanting in?
Yeah, hi. Just to make everything above board, I was a judge for awarding Wigtonshire, and I am a director on Youth Student Initiative that have also sponsored an award. So I don't know if that's a conflict of interest. Personally, I don't think it is. Personally, I want it noted, I'm a bit disappointed that we can't support the group on behalf of the council, but I do understand how the scoring panel works and how it's worked, because it's not just for the people in Stranraer, it's for the whole of Wigtonshire. But I just wanted that noted. I don't know if that leaves me out of any decision making. If I could get clarity on that so that legally I'm doing things correctly. But I just did want my comments noted, because I do think it's a shame, because I think it brings lots of benefits, because it champions fantastic achievements in the whole of Wigtonshire. So it's just maybe not the right fund to apply to. So just so that that's noted, thanks.
Yeah, so I think it's up to this subcommittee to decide on applications. The scoring panel is essentially an advisory panel, but it's up to us as members of this committee to approve or whatever for each individual application. Kerry, can you assist with Councillor Hill's questions?
So with regard to the question, with regards to participating in the decision making, obviously, again, as I've said with Andrew, it is entirely up to members to decide whether there is any declaration of interest. You can declare an interest, but as Ben said earlier, you can also declare an interest and still participate, just so that you've made that clear. You can declare an interest, as Andrew has done, and decide not to participate. It's entirely up to members to do that. And as Ben said, with regards to the scoring panel's recommendation, it's entirely up to the members to decide whether they take on board that recommendation. However, today, because Andrew has declared an interest and is not being part of the decision-making process, then you cannot take a decision on that today, and it will probably go to the next area committee for a decision, unless it's a common good beforehand, which I don't think there is. No.
Okay, so if this is deferred to the next area committee, then Kerry, would that just, I mean, the Wigtonshire area committee is every Wigtonshire councillor. This is just Stranraer councillors. So would it just be Stranraer councillors who can vote in that area committee, or?
My belief Ben, is it'll be a meeting before the Wigton Area Committee, and the hope would be, no, would it be in Bolton?
So the Wigton Area Committee is the overarching committee. So Stranraer Common Good is a subcommittee. So the Wigton Area Committee is overarching committee, and all members can participate.
Oh, thank you, Kate. Sorry, I thought the Common Good was sovereign in that regard. Sorry about that. That was me being jumping the gun.
The Common Good is sovereign. And
the next area committee is the 3rd of May.
So, okay. Would that, yeah, so if it is deferred to the area committee, then that would obviously open it up in terms of councillors who can vote on things, which might make it easier, because as right now we've got 2 councillors in this meeting who may or may not be able to vote entirely. So I'd move that maybe we defer it to the Wigton Area Committee, just so we can open it up a bit more, and there'll be more, you know, it won't be so closed off like it is today. Would that be acceptable?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm happy to second that, Ben, and I think it gives more councillors the ability to judge the criteria and move forward with it.
Great, thank you. So that's deferred until the next Wigton Area Committee on early May. Okay.
Can I just ask, does that impact on, with it being the end of the month and the end of the financial year, does that impact on the funds that we have available, Kerry? When do the funds, is it the 5,000 and something we hold at the moment, does that carry over, please?
Sorry, Chrissy, could you repeat that?
Could I just ask, with the funds that we have lying at the moment, and it's like at the end of the financial year, do those funds carry over then into the next financial year, or do we start the next financial year? How does that work with it being sort of like, does that make any difference? Just so that I'm clear in my head, please.
Yeah, it won't make any difference. Any remaining funds will be carried over as free if you make a decision to do something else with those funds.
Lovely, that's great, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to the next agenda item then. Agenda item 6, Stranraer Common Good Fund Criteria Review. This report provides members with an update from the members' workshop held to review the Stranraer Common Good Fund criteria. So, any questions? I wouldn't think there would be, because we were the ones who sat down and did this. So I'll just move straight ahead to the recommendations then. 2.1, note the previous criteria and application form for Stranraer Common Good as detailed in paragraph 3.7 and in appendices 1 and 2. Agree the changes to the criteria as detailed at paragraph 3.9 and in appendix 3, and agree to consider applications to Stranraer Common Good Fund twice a year in June and October as detailed at paragraph 3.10. Happy to approve?
To approve.
Yep, thank you. Okay, so that's it, and I don't have any other orders of business, so that concludes our items for today. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, Joe.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Chair.